Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about how I use the PSP MixBass2 to actually process a signal. Now I'm using it in this simple mix on two instances, one on the kick drum and another one on the bass. Now what I'm doing is I'm using it on the kick drum to very subtly enhance and compress the low end so that when it's brought up, it actually sounds like it's lasting longer. I'm basically giving the illusion that the low end frequencies are lasting longer because they're being compressed, which means that they're maintaining their volume over time longer. This is a very subtle effect. Notice that I do have my output saturation turned off because the output saturation does affect the overall sound. Now on the bass, what we are doing is I'm actually doing an overprocessing and using the mix knob to create a parallel processing. I'm basically overdoing all the saturation, the tuning, and the compression. I'm making sure that there's a lot of character and a lot of punch. And I'm basically using the mix knob and the output gain to level match along with the saturation to add a little bit of character to it. The whole point of the bass is to subtly enhance and gently make the low end of the kick drum have more weight and support to it. So if I solo the kick drum and I have just the MixBass2 up, which is right here, listen to what's going on when I bypass this. When the little meter is yellow like this or orange, it is bypassed. And when it is gray again, it is activated. So here we go. Let's start bypassed. What I'm doing is I'm using the compression to control the low end material and keep it a consistent volume while matching the overall output gain. If you really listen to it, it's subtle, but you do hear that it adds more weight and more impact to the low end. Next, let's listen to the bass. So for the bass, this is much more noticeable. And what I think the best way to show you guys what I'm doing is to actually bypass it in general and then show you guys what's going on. So we're going to start with the bypass and then I'm going to bring it in while it plays. As you can see here, I'm actually tuning it to add a low-end harmonic at 100 hertz. Then I'm doing very heavy compression, and the timing is very quick. As you can see on the character section, I'm adding a lot of color all the way to 63%. This is adding a lot of distortion. And if I actually bypass this while it plays, you can hear what's going on. It's giving it some growl and it's making it sound a lot more hairy. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm increasing the punch very heavily at 2,879 hertz. This is basically adding a lot of higher end punch to keep that impact going on. After that, I'm actually using the mix knob to blend it all the way down to 29% and bringing the output down to gain match, along with having the output saturation to add some more character and color. This is also basically helping it stay loud without actually making it louder. Let's listen now to the kick and the bass together when I bypass the PSP MixBass on the bass drum. You'll notice that you actually lose a lot of impact and a lot of weight from the kick. So here we go. So now what we'll do is we'll take everything out of solo and I'll have the bass instance bypass so you can really hear what's going on. Listen to the kick drum and listen to the bass. Notice how with it activated like this, you actually get a lot more impact and weight to the kick drum's hit. I'm basically using this as a way to reinforce the low end. So there you have it. This is a really quick and easy way to enhance low end, add weight to your kick drum, or even just make something have a lot more weight to it. Thanks for your time and stay tuned for our next video, which is going to be on the PSP Mix Treble 2.